Now this is how you can use refs in class-based components. What about functional components? How do you use references there? Is it possible there? Well, this function-based approach here is not usable in functional components, but the other approach kind of is, with the help of React hooks. So let's go into our cockpit.js file where we have a functional component. And let's say in here, I automatically want to click this button here whenever this entire page loads. This is, of course, just a dummy example. You can implement any logic that fits your use cases. So first of all, we need to set up a reference. And since this is a functional component, we have no constructor. We just have our function body. So maybe up here, doesn't really matter, but should definitely be before you return your JSX code, of course. You set up your reference. So I'll create a constant here, and I'll name this toggle button ref. And now here in a class-based component, we would have used React create ref. In a functional component, this will not work. This is not supported. But instead here we have a hook we can use, the use ref hook. So you import use ref from React, and then you use ref here, like this. Now you could pass an initial value here because you can actually use references not just to get access to DOM elements, but you can even store other values in there, but that is more advanced and not something we'll dive into right now. The more common use case here for references is that you do get access to your DOM elements. So now we have our reference created with the help of the useRef hook. Now we can connect that in our DOM. Now therefore, let's pass null as an initial value here. And then let's go down to our DOM, or to our JSX code to be precise, not the real DOM. And here I want to pass a reference to this button, or I want to set a reference to this button. So here again, we use the ref keyword. That can be used here as well. And I now refer to my button, my toggle button ref. And toggle button ref is this constant which uses useRef. Now with that set up, we could try clicking that button. So let's use toggle button ref, current, click. And let's save this and see if it works. And it doesn't. I get an error. Cannot read property click of null. Now what's going wrong here? Do you have an idea? It's kind of tricky, but it's important. If you understand this, you understand how hooks work. Well, I'm getting this because I'm calling click right after I initialized my reference. React didn't have a chance of executing the code down there where I actually do assign this reference to the button. And therefore, at the point of time I'm calling click here, the button is of course undefined. Now, how could we change that? We can change this with useEffect, because what did you learn about useEffect? It basically runs after every render cycle. So the function you pass to useEffect does not run immediately. It runs after this JSX code here has been rendered for the first time. And therefore, useEffect here is a great place to actually call click. So therefore, here in this useEffect, where I pass an empty array as a second argument, and which therefore only executes when the component renders the first time, and then cleans up when it's unmounted, here, I'll not use this set timeout thing anymore, but instead here, I can now use toggle button ref, current, click, like that. And now if I reload this, this works without error. And you see, indeed, it does click the button. Otherwise, we wouldn't instantly see all the persons. So that is how you can set references with the useRef hook here when using React hooks and functional components. And that also hopefully served as an example of how useEffect works and how it actually executes this function only after this JSX code was parsed and rendered for the first time, so that React did have a chance of connecting your reference here.